I'm in the wrong side.
That you see this and this and this, it's swipe white, right? And it's so sporadic, right? And like, that's so beautiful.
That's awesome. Thank you. Thanks to Alvin. Alvin put together the video.
Good evening. This is the most tech-heavy show we've had since we've opened. So thanks for all the new challenges, thank you. And thanks for all the warmth and wonderful coziness in the room. We are a cozy spot. My name is Jeff Kirby. I go by Kirby. I'm the owner of Knife Fork Book. And the folks that are putting out tonight's anthology, they've been some of our biggest fans since we've opened. I've been so grateful for your being such a presence here at the shop. And when I heard that this book was coming out, I said, well, of course we have to do something special here. So welcome. Thank you for being part of that. I would be remiss if I didn't share a few things about what's happening here. If you don't already know, we're a poetry shop. Hi, everybody. Thanks for being back there. And I want to also say congratulations on your launch tonight. We have what's called Thursday Night Poets. It's a Thursday Night Poets series. You can get us at knifeforkbook.com. Just a few highlights. We have Lisa Robertson coming on March 20th. We have Aaron Morey coming on March 26th. We have Gwen Benaway, Emma Healy, and Damian Rogers on March 2nd. We have Poet Laureate George Eliot Clark on April 1st. And at the end of April, C.A. Conrad and myself will be reading at a very special event at another launch for both C.A. and myself, a little chat book called She's Having a Doris Day. Anyway, without further ado, let's continue with the evening. If you want to know the exits, the bathrooms are downstairs. There is an exit that goes directly out the back. There is an exit out the front. I appreciate your care and concern for each other in this space. It's really tight and cozy tonight. Thank you so much.
This is honestly our favorite spot in Toronto, and seriously, a huge thanks to Kirby for putting this place together. We come here so often, it's like our second home, and it's fantastic to be here, especially because a ton of great small presses, Canadian local presses, like all the poetry you can get and prose or whatnot is here, and often great, amazing poets come here for readings, like Kirby said. And so we're really honored to be here. This is our first time ever doing a book launch as Inspiritus Press, as our publishing company. Woo! And yeah, we've been busting our asses getting all this stuff together for the past couple of months or even years. So this is really exciting, and thank you to all of you for making it out. And especially winter events can be a bit of an effort. So thank you so much for being here. We're honored. And seriously, in the past couple of months, we've been getting to meet like a lot of people in the industry, and everyone is really warm and supportive and friendly. And if you are a writer, seriously, just jump out into the industry, and you're going to find a lot of friends and a lot of encouragement from people. And just look at this turnout. It's beyond my imagination, really. So thank you guys. My name is Takatsu, or Taka for short. I'm the founder and the coordinator of Inspiritus Press, and Inspiritus Press is our student-run avant-garde publishing company. A lot of our writers in this anthology are from York University, but we also have international collaborators. We run online writing communities, so we do have, you guys are going to meet some people from overseas, from Germany, from France, where else? South Africa, and California. So that's going to be really exciting. In Spiritus Press, we have a threefold vision. First one is that we want to do visionary, purpose-driven, and spiritually provoking and enlightening themes. And sometimes that requires a lot of experimental stuff and breaking the boundaries, so that's what we're about. And also to resist the system. That's part of our themes. And then the second point is we like to converge the art disciplines and digital technology in our publication events and projects. So in the future, we're probably going to get even more experimental with film and music and performance. But in the back, if you guys walked in and took a look to your left-hand side, you see photography from one of our contributors in this book. And it's sort of like a little display or a little gallery or exhibit of sorts. And they are for sale if you'd like one. So in this anthology, the theme is to do with the human body, so that's why you see that kind of photography there. And then the third point is collaborative communities that empower emerging local and international voices. So we don't believe in the hierarchies or rules or systems. We want to create a community where everyone can feels welcome. Even if you're not published under Inspiritus Press, we'd love to get together and make things happen. That's what we're about. Without further ado, the anthology by 15 contributors actually was initiated by David over there. We tend to make things overcomplicated and like way too big. You just want to do a zine of sorts, and we're like, okay, let's just get it printed off at York University using club funding or whatnot. But I was like, why don't we make it bigger? So this happened. So we have a full book, perfect bound, 80 pages. Also inspired by Invisible Publishing and Dumagrad Books. David is over there at Dumagrad Books, great friend. And his books are great, so actually we're inspired by a lot of local presses. Anyways, we have today, again, local international voices, and we have a live stream going because we are tech savvy like that. Like that's on our Facebook. And also another housekeeping thing, raffle slips. We have 3 prizes. So write your name on raffle slips if you haven't already, and we have some over there, and we can hand it out in a bit later. And if you guys get books, of course, we'll be happy to sign them. We have quite a few writers here. We have, I don't know how many, I'm bad at math, but okay, so I'm going to read the theme, and we're going to get started. So the theme on the front cover and the back cover: the body is the sole mediator between man and universe, the moment between birth and death. Sometimes there may be unity, love, transcendence, and liberation. Other times, separation, lunacy, limitation, atrophy, violence. And so the journey of this book is from the decay and limitation of the physical body towards a metaphysical experience and collective humanity. Alright, so first of all, we're going to welcome an international writer, so you guys look up there and give her applause as if she is here with us over the airwaves, over the magic of technology. Go ahead.
Hi, I'm Colette Thomas, and I'm reading to you today from Swaziland. Detachable limbs. The nerves of my arm are either taking their leave, or little pinhead stars are sending electric shock Morse code messages that I can't read up and down its length. The lower arm when I'm laying on my side, the arm on the bed. The one that forms a wedge between my person and I when we're trying to connect epidermally. The one that doesn't know where to be. His lower arm, particularly elbow, is usually embedded into some part of my anatomy in its quest to belong somewhere. It's not a great epiphany that comes to me. It's logic. Detachable limbs. It makes perfect sense. This comes to me in the middle of the night as an elbow forms an indent in the soft place of my arm where a bicep should be. Top arms are fine. Top arms are wonderful for wrapping around each other and pulling in close. Bottom arms, well, they just can't get it together, can they? They are simply impractical, and to be able to detach them is the most logical solution. He turns over, and the elbow of my bottom arm nestles into a space in his back, and my hand sits about my throat as though proving a point to my thoughts. Is he asleep? Perhaps I'll just whisper and see what gives. He shifts. Is my arm making you uncomfortable? I whisper quite loudly. A little. Yes, he's awake. So I pitch my idea to him, though I try to sound nonchalant. I was thinking that we should have detachable limbs. That's profound, baby. Isn't it? I mean, the bottom arm is always in the way and struggles to find comfort. He turns back over, but I can't see the expression on his face in the dark. I'm sure it's one of great admiration. I continue. I've given it some serious thought. I've followed through all the way to what to do about blood supply. It would have to be wireless. Legs are not so bad. They intertwine nicely, they hug, they find a space, you know. They come straight out of the torso. It's the arms popping out of the sides that are a problem. I'm not sure that the creator thought this through. You're a fucking genius, baby, he says wryly.
Sorry about that. Alright, we're going to kind of go according to the order of the book. So next up is my little piece. And this is an old piece. I haven't been writing lately, actually. But thanks to David for including this. Kind of using my pieces as transitions. Okay, so this is called Polished Brown Loafers. The train looks to be empty, but here is a man who is looking at his hands, and his hands are looking at his feet obscured by polished brown loafers, and 12 toes that count the feet from edge to edge, and how long it takes to fall and fly and see. Next up we have Evan J. Hoskins.
Thanks everybody, thanks Stephen for picking all these.
You might want to raise it up a little bit.
Yeah. Yay? Yay.
Oh,
There
yeah,
we
much
go.
better.
Our books line the shore. He is nothing. I am white, but he is less than shades. Translucent, feather hair, bald eyes. Rusted flannel jacket, rag wool, fingerless smokers, ground Levi's, knees eroding, expose a torture. He exits the library washroom. Inside, did he berate his mirror self? Maybe he cried. He avoids my hello like a puddle. Sneers, blushes, blood cheeks ball a pale pain. Thank you. Who's up next? Yeah, AMJ. AMJ's up on the screen now.
Hello everyone, my name is NJ Greenfield. I'm a British Australian writer based in Aachen, Germany, and of course a proud member of the Inspiritus team and a proud contributor to Apparatus. This is my piece, my contribution to that work, The Beat. The theatre is where it began. I was sitting in the second row, nothing in my mind but art, when a man appeared on stage with a knife. I rose immediately and debuted on stage with him, my coat in my hand, which I then wrapped around him as he lunged at one of the performers. I threw him to the ground and fell on him, a whole charade, a performance in itself. No one was harmed. They wanted to hail me a hero, but such a grand title was ill-fitting, averse to the sound in my right ear, the beating of a drum, the ticking of a clock. It began with the applause I received upon rising to my feet with a madman wrapped in my coat. As the hands slowed and the sound faded, this beat rose in its place. I tried physical exertion to sabotage its invasion. I tried to think of nothing and think nothing of it, but it was ever present. I began to walk to its rhythm, enslaved. One step, one step, one step. I would stop and count at a different speed, but every new rhythm would align so sweetly, and I would be back to one, 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 one. Everything locked in an endless cycle that repeats. One, 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 one. Ever in my right ear, only in the right. a melody performed by clapping hands, stamping feet, devoid of whistles and catcalls. I ate to its core, I thought to its pace. Always there, a sound, a personal metronome. The next morning, I saved a boy from being hit by a car. He ran into the road, and I appeared beside him, the beat taking me there without my knowledge. Me knowing only the beat, the one, that took me onto the road and took the boy in my arms and took us both from the passage of the car as it took the air from around us and I took my leave. It happened again, this time a girl in the river. I emerged, soaked, and those who had seen my heroics clapped and cheered, each sound arousing, exciting the rhythms that fed the beat. I had no time to think, no time to sleep. I was the beat, and the beat was me. The world became mine to save, and every time I stepped beyond my door, into the corridor, out into the street, I would find myself here and there. A child, a girl, a man, a woman. Each time someone would be saved by the beat, and I would be hailed a hero, and the beat would drink the adulation that resounded around us. I locked the doors and remained within the confines of my thin walls, my keys around my neck on a piece of black cotton, tripled for strength. I could hear the neighbours night and day, marching to the beat that lingered without the applause. Those above, below, and at my sides ate to it, slept to it, cried to it. Music did nothing to quell its presence. Television slowed, falling into place. One, 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 one. I let it swallow me. One, rise. One, fall. One, eat. One, sleep. One, think. One, blink. One, blink. One, blink. What else could I do? I stopped talking to those I'd long since stopped talking to. Even the girl I'd gone to the theatre with, a slip who had offered herself to me because she wanted to live the life of a movie and thought such ambition becoming. And thus, I found myself alone, though I had the beat, and the beat had me. Thank you for listening. Thank you, of course, for taking an interest in all of the work that Inspiritus does. Make sure you grab yourself a copy of Apparatus and also check out any of our work on the Inspiritus webpage. And you can also find my own work on my own webpage, njgreenfield.wordpress.com. Thank you very much.
The magic of technology. Next up, we have another writer not with us, Aaron Capelli from California.
The Crooked Way. Unsteady music, unsteady hands lay bare the fault work of our griefs. The tune and fingers are the filament that unfolds and flowers the beaten image, comprising our reflection, our remorse. Once that sinew flowed, escaped attention, through valleys fixed in aerial wonder, under palms that felt for balance rope. Then with a quick unfurling of those rhythms, we're stricken, pause the dance and fall. Grace needs us not to be ourselves, to shelter without roof from reminiscence on time's crumbling porch, weathered by empty horses and sudden distance.
You'll be able to watch the event later on through the live stream. Next up, we have Skylar. Skylar is from France.
Hey there, I'm Skylar Clark, and I'm currently living and studying in Paris, France. So unfortunately, I wasn't able to attend the event in person. So instead, what you get to now see is a digital reproduction of me reading my poetry in what is currently my present and what will be your past. My poem is called Doctor's Whiskey. Doctor's Whiskey. Metal coyotes, cave painted under the cliff. The barbed wire forest knows secrets it won't ever divulge. Chunks of land take flight like future moons. A doctor engulfed in a wound, stretching out elastic epidermis, tunneling into vintage wine, floating, chunky viscera. Doctor's hands. 1. Sharp serrated edges. 2. Solid moonlight. Dissected, taut, gnashing sinew, choking skylit spores pour like golden motes into tiny fishes, sluicing marrow, veins like vines, like half-artery stumps, saw silver moons, saw them apart, torn apart in swinging jazzy motions. Doctor takes another shot of shotgun whiskey. Artillery barrages raining down on forest front lines, uprooting hairy salmon and snow, rolling from an avalanche volcano, way up in the inflatable rainbow vomit catacombs. Put all the plasticine together. There's your chocolate sandcastle, ruled by a cloud-eating starfish, enveloped in drywall pastries, tied to saddles on earthquake paperweights. Rabbits chasing, sprinting beehives with sinister legs and a mouth made of nightmares, churning out acrid exhausts from every child's empty eye sockets, chopping off their outstretched hands, and laughing, "Doctor, doctor, I don't want to die." Doctor takes another shot of shotgun whiskey. The charcoal phoenix, weaving screams from broken glass. Her beak stretches like her melted fondue breasts all across the fiery theaters, stretches down to earth, a tar-coated hurricane, swallowing the heroes of war, stuffing them into tomorrow's headline front lines, barraged by artillery in the background, soldiers screaming for their mothers in a motherless land of always monsters. Doctor sees the charcoal phoenix, moon-eclipsed zeppelin screaming the copper coin taste of blood. Whispers charcoal phoenix. Bang, bang, bang. She steals the doctor's epileptic jungle from the operating table. Springboard hands and whirring heart no more. Purple bruised bones, plums left to dry under skyless sky, served with triple sundae. The patient is dead. Do not worry, doctor. The stretchers will bring more. Doctor takes another shot of shotgun whiskey. Woo!
And next up we have our very own Denise.
Oh yeah.
Special treat.
Good.
Thank you. So my poem is really short. Yeah, short. Okay. It's called "I'm Yours Forever." I saw dead bodies high on soporific depressants, scoured under a shimmering, endless sun, willing on magnum opiates, floating in limbo. A man comes, sperm scatters on the belly. Lowborn life struggles to its end. I'm yours forever.
Woo!
Next up we have Aaron L. Shang.
Okay, I'm going to be reading from my piece, which is Patchwork Zombie. Let me make sure I get this right. There we go. Limbs sewn back on, happy patchwork zombie, black-heeled kneecap, the blood lapped by leeches. Happy patchwork zombie, do you miss your limbs so that much? They'll go bad and fall off. All the tubes are flowing to your feet, the black and yellow on your pills. In 1867, it stood on a mound of powdered water and wielded a Wanzel rifle made by Stellwerks. The pill was not made by Stellwerks. There was no pill. Good morning again. You seem all right. 1. New incision made at hips. 2. Buildup of excess fluids noted. A. Unattached. 3. There's going to be pizza later with not the cheese in the crust, so it bursts out when you take a bite, but I know you never like cheese, so you can peel it off and throw it in the garbage can. 4. Incision sterilized. A. Pump removed. You like the water. I'm afraid it'll make your patches wet. Don't wring them like that. Ink runs out, the leeches are fat. We had dinner the other day. There were bones, and we pretend our canines can break them. 1. Perspiration running off skin like pool water on your back. 2. New pills added. A. Red, blue, white. B. Green, white, red. Unos. Europeans have bland flags. 3. Every stripe has a different personality. A. But they all drink and laugh together. Unos. 4. They tell me they have no home. A. When there are many Unos, make them poor. Your time was always kept by metronome, offbeat in its tick-tock but never stopping. I tried playing music to it once, but found my own time speeding up. Happy Patchwork Zombie, are you home yet? Beaches are for long vacations. You never wanted to leave the sea. 1. 2. There was a girl playing with her doll. Her head was torn off, and her mother couldn't put it back on, nor the doctor. Thank you.
Next we have David with Hildegard. Yeah.
What's up, my fellow maniacs? Are you guys doing alright? Good?
Yeah!
Alright, this piece is called Hildegard. Hildegard. God's embrace is motherly because he has fastened the man to the woman, the mother to the father, the inner to the outer. He appears comfortable with his sexuality because of this unity. A hermaphrodite flips over in the moonlight, lands flush against the grass, and hugs all of us at once with a different side, same being. My pastor tells me that even in black and white, there is green vigor, green life, green sleep, green death. My mother tells me that faith grows like grass when watered and kissed, not overwatered, not overkissed. Green can also be gonorrhea infection, as well as the sun through tinted windows, or the face, also the sun while nauseous. Green faces are still suns, your fevered, bitey body fighting off millions of infections is green like watered and kissed grass. Faith is green, but not because of the nausea. Visions can be called schizophrenia or delirium tremens, both of which are green and came from the bodies that gave birth to us. Most prefer scientific authority, proof, the same materials of rationality that give birth to wars, televised sexual atrocities and delocalized mass suicides, none of which are green, even in black and white, but are sought after like the dripping cock of a spectacular sodomy by the parasites who know that visions are greener than dollar signs.
DJ can introduce himself.
I'm CJ. I'll probably move this forward because my voice is like really fucking loud. Okay, so my piece is called Dead Flies. Black and white static, disembodied breathing of the universe, bodiless form, like dead flies, fucking lifeless materia, spraying monetary birth, sputtering auto synchronicity. Bzz, bzz, bzz. Change the station, up, up, down, down, same situation. But the antenna, still the frequency screams. A dead flies, fucking biz, biz, biz. Even death can't debouch. I need a producing something. Always but the vessel, TV conceptualizing without a physical sacrament or an electric contraption. Thank you.
Alright, I'm going to follow up with that. With a piece by B.W. Powell, our professor. This is from his old novel in 1995, which we got the permission to republish in our anthology. So I think it's really, really incredible. Christine and I glowed when we made love, our liquid kisses reflected back to us on the screen, our pale bodies mingling with its beams, the sexual electroscape seducing and brushing and nestling us, while our ears hummed with vibrating air, with all the dialogue and jokes and announcements, the bites of music, this technology's palaver, this discourse of light and sound. I retained scraps of commercials, jingles, cliches, lyrics, disparate experiences remote-controlled my memories, triggering an outpouring of repartee from a sitcom, song lines from a variety show. I'd be constantly surprised by the bits I'd find in my mind, the implants and fragments and tips about existence. TV grounded us, only that grounding was fluid. The most successful TV events uncovered the flux of experience, the crisis, the slice of life program, the eyewitness report, the sports spectacular made TV come alive. And the scenes and articulations it disclosed, imparted, and documented appeared seamless, mutable, and chameleon-like. Jesus, TV makes me want to fuck, she said. The luminousness from the set wrapped around her body and red hair. She rose and fell on me, looking like a fierce angel in a cathode halo. Thank you.
I'll be reading Thomas Arthur Farrell's To Build a Fence. Across the street, the man went into a house and came out with a hammer. I look back at Jacqueline, and her eyes flutter like seashells caught in the moats roaming around the sandcastle made in the 14th century this morning. She smiles at me and calls me wistful, just because I like it when colors bleed into the sky and we call it aurora. To a layman, it is like seeing your own mind, when in a state of exhaustion, placing the heel of your palms against your closed eyelids and pressing inward. From this vantage point, it also resembles a flower bloom, the one I picked from the garden outside and carried lovingly to a place behind your ear. And we smelt it into our brains, doing this all day long, humming when we needed to. You called me pretty. And when we lost the feeling, you remembered that town in Colorado, so in desperation we packed the car with certain things and drove out west, hoping to find it once again. On the drive, a green sign. On the drive, fields you say are empty, but I notice infinity resting there. Grass, weeds, the wind against them, color, insects, dirt. On the drive, people on their own drive. On the drive, a red sign. I touched her hand across the steering wheel. Her knuckles were so white, she looked at me, and in her eyes were tiny shapes, the wrinkles around them, and the way her eyebrow quivered made me cry hysterically. The tears streamed down my face like gutter water to the sea. She had been crying without showing me. Some people do this, and some people don't. In Nebraska, we picked up a hitchhiker, She was young and a product of the farmer mentality, but the depth of her thought did not descend like ocean water or circle like a maelstrom. I could see the bottom just by glancing. She said thank you and sat back against the seat between us. She wore tight blue jeans and a plaid button-up shirt. Her hair hung loose and long like the style in commercials, but her lips remained blank. I stared at them. She skimmed the surface so gracefully. For a moment, I longed to return with her. The black night followed some time later, and we sat out on top of the car. In the midnight hours, the Borealis appeared directly overhead. The three of us danced and shouted so loud it was like maybe we'd never come home.
Finally, we want to close off with our last piece. You guys want to do the group thing?
Sure.
Davin, David.
Davin.
Davy Dave. You don't need a mic.
Oh, yeah, I know.
This piece by Skylar Clark. She's not with us today, but this piece is fucking sick. So it's called Ball Bearings. Are we all the same person, born into differing bodies? Identical ball bearings whose trajectories are altered by winds?
We are just peculiar clockwork, locked within a cage with distorted walls that imitate our surroundings.
What if we all have the same passing thoughts, those which no one's ever thought to write down as of yet?
Thanks again for everyone who's come to support us and encourage us. And seriously, we can't do it without you. The community has been so warm and supportive, and we're just starting off fresh here, and yet, we've been so inspired. And we're definitely going to continue what we do. We have more titles coming out at the end of summer, beginning of fall, some chapbooks and the like, and yeah.
Yeah, no, fucking for real. This is not the end of it at all. We have at least 2 more of these coming out, so send us your shit.
Yes, send us your shit.
Email, letter, just,
email, letter,
whatever you
owl,
steamboat,
steamboat.
Whatever. But give us,
telekinesis.
Yeah, that works too.
Actually, no.
Telepathy.
Everyone laughs still, though.
Yeah, so we do have business cards and contact information, and check out our website and grab some raffle slips in case, put your name down if you haven't already. And we're going to do some draws about, I guess, now.
No, wait, give them a chance to write down.
Yeah, soon, sorry.
How much is the book?
Oh yeah, it's $12. Our book is $12. Be sure to grab a copy and get it signed. There's a bunch of writers here. And unfortunately, the international writers can't sign it, but maybe one day.
Buy that book, get it signed, sell it for $1 million.
If it's worth that much one day, I'll be quite happy, honestly. Yeah, thank you all for making it out on winter nights. And yeah, stay back and chat with us.
Yeah, cool.
Make sure you guys grab a slip and get signed up for the raffle.
Yeah, and also check out the photography at the back there. We have like sort of like a gallery. Do get the book and let it sink in.
Last week of the yes. Great job. Thanks for coming out. Good job.
I'm probably
Anyway,